The Spitfire pilots of the RAF are highly experienced fast jet pilots before they start a tour with the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight. These guys have to be good because the BBMF have no two-seater Spitfires or any simulators. So when an RAF pilot first takes to the air in a Spitfire, it really is his first time. What does this have to do with Microsoft Flight Simulator, you may wonder? Well, in this video, I'll share a story which I think is remarkable, because what you are watching right now is Microsoft Flight Simulator and the Spitfire Mark 9 add-on from Flying Iron Simulations, but I'm not flying it. It is being flown by Squadron Leader Mark Discombe, or more accurately, it's a recording of his simulated engine failure during an RAF Battle of Britain Memorial Flight display. In this video, I'm not only going to share more of the story behind this, but you can also download this replay file so you can follow it for yourself. And I guess you can set yourself up at the same point of failure and try to recreate his landing. Perhaps you think there's a multi-million-pound simulator wrapped around the Microsoft platform. Well, I can assure you, there absolutely is not. The flight controls that you are about to see are in fact freeware. Yes, you can freely download and 3D print these controls and clamp them to a desk instead of within a cockpit like this. Stay tuned for the story. So welcome back, AuthentiKit fans. Here we are again, back at the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight in RAF Coningsby, where we've had a very successful day, a real highlight for AuthentiKit, because we've been taking the simulator, which I've talked to you about a few times so far, to another level. We've added in some magnetos and a fuel cock, and we've had fantastic help from Flying Iron Simulations, who over the last month or 6 weeks have been collaborating with a team here at the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight. That's Corporal Ken Dowling and Squadron Leader Mark Discombe, to exactly synchronize the Flying Iron Mark 9 with MK356, which is the Mark 9 flown by the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight. And we've now got them absolutely bang on. And what this provides is an opportunity for the pilots at the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight to practice emergency procedures. And that's the reason we've been adding in some key controls like the magnetos and the fuel cock, being some of the first steps that you would take when you are experiencing an emergency procedure. And the feedback we've had today from Mark Discombe has been truly amazing. In fact, let's hear it in his own words.
At the moment, the ground handling is brilliant.
Fantastic. You're planning to simulate a failure?
I'll come back in, I'll do first aerobatic manoeuvre, so I'll come up to power settings for a display, and then I'll fail the engine during display, which is something we'd never be able to do in real life. At that point, I may even make the undercarriage down. Now I'm going to belly her on, and I'm going to belly her on the grass.
So going for a
belly on the grass.
So you're staying within parameters then?
yeah. Yeah.
So that's brilliant, because now I know I didn't have the energy to get round to the runway, so it's just right. I'll gaff that off, keep the gear up, and put it on the grass, and that's brilliant. And that gets my mentality knowing that that is an acceptable outcome. And if I'm going on the grass, keep the gear up.
Keep the gear up, right? Yeah.
Because otherwise you've got more chance of nosing over.
Okay.
So yeah, that is brilliant. Can we reset again?
Just save the file. Yeah. Okay. So we're
Any second I should jump in.
Oh.
Right, now that's realistic. I don't know how you did that. There's utility for the ground handling side of it. The display, because there's enough detail, you can practice the display easily. And then for the emergency handling, I think that's where it'll be really important. And then in a week and a half's time when we do it, on the fighter side on Friday, that's where we'll try and get everyone in, and we'll do some unplanned PFLs and look at the replay, because I'll be interested to see that one then.
Yeah.
Where was I? What height did I actually have? What speed did I keep? Was I doing it properly? And that's the bit that you think, because you're glancing in the speed virtually, and you think you maintain it, but have I really? And were there bits where I went, ooh, you went a bit slow there, mate? That sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So that would be really good. But that's really nice.
And with
good
this,
stuff.
with the watching it back as well, like as Phil was saying, you can pick different angles you want to look at.
Yeah, to actually see. Look at that. That's what we've done. Oh, brilliant. Really good.
One of the most rewarding things about this project is the mutual benefit to both the Royal Air Force and the flight simulation community. The custom tuning of the Mark 9 flight model is not something bespoke or protected. The guys at Flying Iron Simulations will soon be releasing these improvements, and a number of customization features I haven't had time to mention. They are a free upgrade to all their customers, so that's a big win for customers of Flying Iron Simulations, and I know that the RAF are very appreciative of the developers' support. Not only that, but users of the AuthentiKit system are also in for a treat. As part of the preparation for this latest visit, we developed a solution to differential braking that mixes the brake lever input with the rudder input, just like the real thing. I'll recap on all this at the end. But let's hear our squadron leader analyze his decision-making process during this engine failure.
What I simulated here is I come through for the high-speed run. I simulated that I start getting, whether it's a camshaft failure or desynchronized maximum, but something that tells me the engine is really not happy. So what I do there is I push out and up, looking for a low key position. Bring in the throttles back now. I de-stress the engine. So I bring that back to 2000 zero boost. Make sure I've definitely got the energy package to tip in, and then I bring the engine fully back to idle, and then go course. The calibre will come off. Well, probably not here because I know I can make it in. Tip back in when I've got the right sail angle. Ideally looking at about 120 knots. I was aiming for 140 miles an hour.
Right.
Too slow there, obviously. I think you see my nose dropping now.
Yep.
Getting the glide speed back on, which is the manoeuvre speed. 120 I'm aiming for. I'm roughly there. I know I've got the energy now, so I put the gear down, and then I put the flaps fully down because I've definitely got the height.
Right.
That increases my glide angle, and it's maintaining 120 knots, full drag, lining up, and then it's just a matter of slowly blending it out and bringing myself onto the centre line with a touchdown speed of about 85 is your optimum glide, so I'm still in there. Lining her up, just gently putting on a tail down wheeler, a couple of little bounces I think when I find the runway, and then I check forward to stop any more bouncing. So that was a more controlled engine failure, and then you can see that the times where I let the speed get away was, as I initially committed the engine off, I didn't get the nose down quick enough, and when I selected full flap I didn't either. And maybe the debrief points on that I would have. Energy package in essence, I stopped in front of air traffic, I haven't used much in the way of braking.
So, that was Disco's second runway landing, as unfortunately we didn't manage to hit save quickly enough to capture the belly landing in the field. But, like I said, you can download that file and replay it yourself. Just see the link in the description. We can probably obtain more of these replay files in the future too. If you didn't know, there is an MK356 livery on flightsim.to that you can download, and I'll link to that in the description. And for the upgraded flight model and features like a G-meter for display flying, you'll have to wait for Flying Iron Simulations to package that up for a future version release. And finally, if you're looking for the differential braking solution and the other AuthentiKit tweaks I mentioned, they will be explained shortly in a follow-on video. So for now, folks, that's all we have, but I will be back soon with more news and more developments at AuthentiKit.